Good morning, welcome at the online open day of the Textile and Fashion Department here at the KBK. I'm excited from Fashion Retreat, all the way from Pure Soft to international students. This morning I'm going to be hosting you. We have 45 minutes to give you a good impression of our department here. We're going to be hosting two talks. I'm going to be hosting two talks, and in between we're going to be showing you videos of the work of our students. The first talk will be about mission, curriculum, and portfolio. The second talk will be about student life, very important. Please submit your questions in the Q&A. Charity will send them to us, and we will answer that if possible. Enjoy, and I hope you get a lot of information. so dear viewers, we're here with some students and the head of the department, Mark. We have Noel here, first year, going to textile, and then we have fellow classmates right here, Jose
Hi,
Marie.
and then
Yeah, so tell us a bit about yourself.
I'm Jose Marie. I'm doing year 3 fashion. I'm originally from the Philippines.
Yeah, I'm Noah. I've chosen textiles for first year, and I'm from the Netherlands as well.
I'm Mark. First of all, I'm head of the department since 3 years, and I'm also a designer for international labels and brands. Yeah.
Okay, so we have some questions already. So Mark, how does the procedure for the admission look like here?
Well, you can find all the information on the website, it's very clearly described, but the way we do this normally is that you apply, you write a letter of application in which you motivate why you want to study at this school. It's very important that you also explain why you choose this school and not another school, because I think we have a distinctive program combining textile and fashion design, so that's quite a unique approach. So you should sort of relate to that in your letter also, and try to explain what it is that you are aiming for, what you want to become after you graduate. That's also important. And next to the letter, there's your CV you have to upload, and there's a portfolio with a selection of the work that you have made. Could be anything, doesn't have to be all finished work, it can also be sketches and tryouts. Yeah. But the portfolio is to give us an impression of who you are, what kind of handwriting you have, also what kind of interests you, and yeah, make it as wide as possible. The more you can send it, the better. And we have 2 dates for that. March 1st is the deadline for the non-European students, and May 1st is the deadline for the European students. After the deadlines, we'll look into all the applications and then we make a selection. The selection is quite fierce because we have quite a lot of applications. So make sure you stand out and you're clear about who you are and what you can do. And then after, we make a selection of people that we invite over for interviews. Yeah. And that will be for non-European on April 6th and April 13th. And for the European students, it will be May 18th and May 25th. So make sure you don't wait to apply as soon as possible, because that's really important, that you have the first batch if possible.
Yeah. You were talking about the application and what you're looking for. What are you looking for in portfolio? Because that also has to be sent, of course.
Yeah. Well, it's a bit what I said before. It should be distinctive. It should be about you, what your personal interests are, who you are. If you think it expresses what you like, what you are inspired by, what you are looking at, and what you're already capable of doing. Yeah. And so yeah, it's basically it. Yeah.
Noah, you're quite fresh here, first year. How did the procedure go for you to apply it? How did you even come to know about the school? Why did you choose the school?
Yeah, well, to start, I chose this school because I really wanted to do textile design. And I couldn't really find another academy that did textile design as a separate kind of course. So I eventually came here and I was like, oh wow. And I went to the open day, which like still then was here at the academy. And yeah, the admission was actually pretty clear. The website, it went, oh, okay, I think. Yeah. It was a little bit, I felt nervous to apply, because in one of the live streams last year it was said like, oh, we like take a couple of students, but like maximum of 30, I guess, was said. And I was like, oh, how would I stand out? But yeah, I eventually just did what I like to do best in my portfolio, and I thought as well that the portfolio talks, if you're able to do those, were really helpful for me as well.
Yeah. Okay. Jose, so this is your third year here?
Yes.
How's it going for you? How is the curriculum working out for you? Because you chose fashion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that you made the right decision, or how do you feel that choice between fashion and textile went for you so far?
I think choosing between fashion and textile is always it's a bit confusing, because I think there's always a thin line in this choice. But I think for me it was more personal, really, to go for fashion than with textile. I think it's just, I can't really explain it properly in words, but I think I just had that, I always listen to my gut feeling, and I
You
think
really
that's
had
the most
information.
important thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And was it also based on the skills you had, or on the department itself that you felt like, hey, I can do fashion here better, or was it purely like you said, I really had that feeling when I came here, and I just followed it all the way through to now?
I think for me, it was because I was here for the open day, and it really helped me a lot to see everything in the academy, not only fashion, but also to really feel the vibe of the academy.
Mhm.
And I think I like the vibe, so
You like the vibe?
yeah.
I like the vibe too. So, you have no questions from the Q&A, right? Still.
The difference
What's
between.
the difference between textile and fashion? Maybe Mark can answer this.
Yeah, well, the difference, these are two disciplines that I think are closely related, they're even interconnected. I mean, without textile, you cannot do fashion.
No.
And I think it's also very clear that the students who choose to study textile design here, they have a clear sense of fashionability. Otherwise, why would you come here, you know? And within the program, we have that the first semester of year one is sort of collected for both textile and fashion students. And then at Christmas, you have to make your definite choice. But the two programs sort of overlap, and they also keep on working together. And we even are stimulating this collaboration more and more. And we're going to start now with a collective project in year two, where the students will continue to work together in creative teams, combining textile and fashion students. So actually we're stimulating this collaboration because I think it's also really important for the understanding of the professional field that as a designer you are never alone, you never do anything only by yourself, you always depend on other people. So we train students to think about this collaboration and train yourself in seeing the specializations in different people and how they enrich each other. So the difference then, because I was saying the overlapping thing, the difference is I think that in fashion there's a bit more emphasis on identity because it's so much also about explaining a total expression on the body. So it's more connected to the body, human body, than textile sometimes is. I think textile design has more possibilities for applications.
Okay.
It could be on the body, it could also be in a space around you,
Yeah.
interior, autonomous. But I think it has both to do with sort of haptic qualities, like tactile qualities, how you experience something as a human, be it textile design or fashion design. I think it's all quite intuitive.
Mhm.
So they're related. Yeah.
And how do you think the curriculum, or how is the curriculum built up actually? Because we just spoke about mission, which you have to do, but when you're in already, go into, for example, the third year, fourth year, to the second year, what are the things, the steps that are being taken in the program to build this final student?
Yeah. But it's also described rather clear on the website, but let me talk a bit about it. We have a theme for each year as a focal point. So first year would be play, second year ground, and third year connect, and fourth year transform. Let me elaborate a bit. Play means that we invite you to start experimenting, to lose all your conditioned ideas. Often when you start studies like this, you might have the idea, I know what my style is, I know who I am, and I know what I like and what I don't like. We want to challenge you to go beyond what you know already and to sort of start experimenting, looking for things that are out of your comfort zone and that actually help you to sort of develop more knowledge of your own skills. Second year, the grant is very much about putting the skills and knowledge that you need to be able to express yourself further down the line. Yeah. So all the crafts will be there, also historical knowledge will be there, cultural, environmental knowledge will be there. So it's very much about starting to open up towards what's already there from the past that we take on board for the future. Third year, Connect is about opening your eyes towards the existing reality outside the school, because we might tend to be quite organized within ourselves here within the school, And actually design is very much about application in real life. So third year is focusing a bit more on what's going on in the world outside. And you also do your internship in year 3. So then you start to connect to actual practices and experience those. Fourth year is called transform. It could be explained in different ways. It could be transform yourself, could also be transforming the professional field, or even transforming the world, depends on your ambition in that sense. But it's very much the coming together of everything you learned into one clear definition of your position and your uniqueness as a designer, and showing it to the world, being able to communicate what it is that you want to add to the world. So that's
the steps.
the gradual steps. Yeah.
Jose, how did you, how are you preparing for the admission for, to go for internship? Because we're busy right now in the swing of that.
It's, I think for that one, I think I'm well organized.
Okay.
I have a really long, it was a long list on what I want, or where I want to go. And then I'm now editing it and sending my applications, also as well as my portfolio, and building contacts right now. And I think by the end of the month, I will pretty sure have a positive feeling about it. So I think it's going well, I think, yeah.
How do you feel like the teachers or the program helps you into focusing on what you want? Because, for example, you came here knowing that you want to do a bit more fashion. Is this the same way that you felt about your internship, or did you feel like going through the process here at school, where in the first year you got conditioned to let go of everything, that you then found out, hey, hey, this is maybe something I'm interested in, or maybe a teacher told you like, hey, maybe you can look at this because you have these skills or you lack these skills?
It was really a long question.
How is your journey to choose or to make the steps that you made for your internship? How did the helping with the teachers go in the curriculum?
I think I got a lot of help from my teachers. For example, if they see something that is interesting for me, almost like not every week is exaggerated, but I think I got, I don't know, like, how do you say that, like, extra names on my list.
Yeah,
I think
an
that's
extra
it.
list, yeah. The ones that you didn't know or didn't
Yes,
think about.
yes.
Okay. Did they also like help you extract things about yourself? Like, for example, with me, they said like, hey, Tevin, you're missing some organizational skills. So maybe it would be nice to go to a place where where they're not working a bit chaotically and just intuitively, but where it's maybe even a bit commercial. Did you also have those kind of things where they thought like, hey, we're missing this, or this would be very good for you?
I think I had those talks, but not really in one day, but it's more like spread throughout the year.
Build up.
Yeah, it was more build up. So I have really long list on things. To be honest, I have like I don't know, maybe I'm just too organized. I have a list on the place, location, designer, as well as dates. I set my portfolio, and also like, okay, at the end of January, I have to like do all the follow-ups.
You see how it goes.
It's too much organized.
Yeah. Do you have any more questions from the Q&A, maybe?
Now, add a bit to that, because I think it's interesting to mention that every student in that sense is completely different. So everybody has a different interest and also a different approach. And we are actually throughout the course building your profile together with you.
Yeah.
And the assessments in that sense are really instrumental to find out what it is that you need to develop more, or where you are really good at, find out about yourself. They also ask students to write a self-reflection for each assessment. So you have to already think about what it is that you are actually developing, that you're learning. So it's not only us telling you what you're good at, but also you finding out yourself, and also emphasizing this in the assessments, I think.
Yeah.
So that's the idea behind the way we assess it. I hope it works like that.
Yeah. Is there also something you're looking for when the students are ready to like make the step to go abroad? Or is it like everyone just goes on internship, or do you feel like, hey, maybe you're not there yet and it would benefit you to stay a bit longer and then make these steps.
Yeah, well, the program is a bit rigid in that sense that we have to put it in a time frame. So it should start in third year, 1st of April, you should go on internship. It cannot be moved because of the rest of the program, but then there's space until the 1st of September to do the internship, to plan the internship. So we cannot move it, but we can definitely, together with the student, look at what would be appropriate at that moment for you. Maybe you're not ready to go internationally. You know?
Yes.
Maybe it's better to go to a small studio, maybe it's good to go to a very big commercial brand. You know, it depends very much. Also for textile students, it depends a lot. And of course, there are many interesting labels and studios also in the Netherlands. So especially now in Corona time, it's an option to also not have to travel. You know,
Yes.
to actually organize something in the area nearby.
Yes. Projects and workshops. How do you guys experience that working here with the workshop while working on your collection?
I think the workshop is really helpful in a way, like, I work most of the, I prefer to work at school than at home, but some of my classmates, they also work at home, but I really prefer to work here because you have all the facilities. And also, the workshop sometimes close at 5, but luckily we are always given the freedom and also the key to the room to really work until like 9:30 in the evening.
Yeah.
So I think that's really good.
Just to add to that, I think the first years have to be with the second year or third years.
Yeah.
So in the first year, you won't be getting the key immediately, but you can build up. Yeah. And one thing I think is also very important to notice is that we have ISTs, and you don't have that yet, but you can have that soon. How did you experience that?
For IST, I think if you look on the school website, there are different workshops that is available, and even if you're fashion, you can really use every workshop that is in the school.
Okay.
So that's,
And
Yeah, like metal and wood,
Yeah.
and not only
Yeah.
textiles.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
you can even go outside the school and form your own IST in accordance with.
Yeah, I think for IST, it's important to explain that IST means individual study trajectory, and it's something that you can organize yourself as an individual student outside of the regular program. So the Wednesdays are reserved for that. And you can actually then do courses that are for the entire KBK community, so it might be a bit out of the field that we are studying here, but it can actually add up to your skill sets.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do we have any more questions?
Oh, there's a lot of projects. There was a question about
Projects.
projects. Outside of the regular program, the curriculum that we offer, we have projects that we try to organize as kind of energy infusers, also to stir up a little bit the program so it doesn't become rigid, but also to see what in these times is necessary to add to the program. Sometimes it might be something that passes by because we can just invite somebody external over because he's in the area, or we can organize a masterclass with somebody from the industry that actually can visit us only for a week, but then contribute from a completely different perspective to the program. So we have projects, for instance, on shoe design, on moulage and draping, on embroidery. Some of these topics are also in the curriculum, but then we can focus for 1 week or maybe 2 completely on this one subject. We clear the space and we clear the curriculum, and all the attention goes to the project. So it's quite an intensive learning experience, and yeah, it really helps to make it broader and wider. Yeah.
And as far as master classes, what are you as the head of the department looking to bring with the master classes to the department?
Well, the masterclass is a subject on its own. It's sort of a special situation where we can organize a 1-week masterclass each year. And it depends very much on, we look into designers that we would like to invite. Most of the time, I prefer Dutch designers who have an international sort of range, also reach. that are quite influential in their practice. And that can sort of add something to the team that's already existing here. I remember 3 years ago, we invited Helle Jongerius, who's like a very well-known Dutch designer. It's not necessary that people are Dutch, but it's interesting because they're trained in the same kind of environment as what we're offering here. So there's quite a mentality overlap there.
Yes.
With Hella, it was interesting to see how what she struggles with in her sort of experienced and successful career, how it relates to students. Like she was asking herself, what can I add to this world where everything's already there?
Mhm.
So she did a workshop together with students, asking herself and all the students the question, what to design in a world of plenty? Which I think is a very critical question right now. If you are developing designers, we're educating designers, do we need new design? And if we do need new design, how can it be new? How can it be more responsible and more meaningful, more sustainable? All these topics that are going on in the world right now, we can actually take them on board and we define how to design for the future. So that kind of questions can then be positioned in the masterclass, and we can have a real in-depth research in 1 week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this has been our Q&A session for the study curriculum and portfolio. Now you will be watching some small videos on the works of our students, and after that we will be back with the student life.
Hi, I'm Noah. I'm from the Netherlands, and I really like the program Textiles and Fashion so far. It's a very diverse program. You learn a lot of new skills and techniques, but you also learn a lot from your teachers and your classmates. A lot of new perspectives and cultures as well, which I think is very valuable.
Hello, I'm Zhen Yi. I'm first year fashion design student studying KABK, and I come from China. I really love the combination of the fashion and textile in the apartment because I really like these two things combined together. It's given me a lot of inspiration.
Hi, my name is Louise Noordam. I am a third year student of the fashion department. I chose fashion at KBK because you really learn how to create a collection and you can develop your own style in your designs and your way of working. You really notice that in a class, how everyone's work is unique.
I am a second year fashion student and I am from Stockholm, Sweden. My name is Sophia and this is my latest project and my visual diary. The diary is an important tool to document and gather all your research. At KABK you will learn a lot about yourself as well as your chosen practice. Like a creative and soul-searching journey, which the result will hopefully be the best version of yourself.
Hey, I'm Zia, I'm from fashion department. I'm second year student. I chose KBK because one of my best friends she recommended me to come here. So that's the reason I came here. I didn't choose the school on purpose, but I guess it's fate. Now I'm recommending you guys to come here.
Hi, I am Daisy. I am originally from the Cape Verdean Islands and born and raised in the Netherlands. Currently I'm studying at the fourth year fashion department. And for this collection right now, I am working on my own heritage and my roots, and I'm bringing that into my collection. And I think it's very nice that we get this opportunity to really express ourselves also in the academy, in the department, and that we really get to exploit our own topics and exploit everything that fascinates us personally.
My advice, if you're thinking about choosing the fashion and textile department, is to don't compare your work to your classmates. That climate exists far too well in other schools, but I have found it to be not the case here at KABK, where one is seen as a unique individual.
What I love about fashion for me is working with colors and prints and creating interesting combinations and shapes. And I will show you some of my work now. These are the prints that I developed for my third year collection that I'm currently working on. The rolls are prints that I printed in the textile workshop and pressed on my fabrics. Here you can see it all printed on the tool with this print, and then in combination with this colorful print underneath. And in this piece it's also on tool, and then I have a striped fabric. So that was me, Louise, from third year, with a bit of my collection.
My name is Bessel and I'm a second year fashion student. Here you see some pictures of my process from my last semester. We were working on a traditional costume assignment, and I chose a typical Dutch klederdracht, it's called, from Bunschoten Spakenburg. And here you see my process from the whole semester, from beginning to the end, a lot of fabric samples. You see some drawings, you see the end results in the pictures, the final pictures. And yeah, it's just an easy way to see how we work in the second years.
I love fashion because you can have freedom, which totally out of the society system, you can do whatever you want. My future dream is to replace Anna Wintour.
The thing I've struggled most with, I think, is balancing your social life and your school life. It's a pretty intense program. It's the first thing you think about when you wake up and the last thing you think about when you go to bed. But you really do have the support of everyone at school and from your classmates, which I think is wonderful.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about student life. So, student life. We still have Jose here. We have Kim from first year going to textile. Fashion, sorry. We have Xiaoyu in textile year 2, and we have Simon going to textile. So, what is studying at the KBK like? Anyone?
I think it kind of feels like a community when you walk around and get to know a lot of different people from different departments. Yeah, that's what it is.
Do you think it's important for you as a fashion student to also be in contact with the art departments, or do you think it's more like a once in a while it's nice to have a friend out there and then, yeah?
I think it's also good to collaborate maybe with other departments, so photography or graphic design.
Have you been doing that already?
Not yet.
Okay. It's for the future.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the important questions that we've gotten so far is, what are the biggest things you could overcome, as a fashion student or as a student here in the textile and fashion department? So far.
I think, one of the big things coming, I think, at any art academy is really, it's a lot of reflecting on yourself, a lot of trying to think, what do I like, but also trying to see beyond what you know and what you're comfortable of. And for me, it was really, and it still is, I'm only halfway through my first year, but really like a process of learning about myself, but also how to bring myself out there, how to share my work, and stuff like that. So that's definitely, I think, something that's also going to keep on being a question throughout these years.
You've been here for 2 years already. What's one of the biggest things that you've had to overcome while being a student here, still being a student here?
Well, I think for me, I think the biggest thing happened on me is from like the first year, when I've seen the first year, because this is almost like the first time that I study abroad, so which is like totally different education background compared with my original country. So in the first year, and also I was kind of people, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
And also in my first year, I was quite interested in all of things. For example, because it's my first time to study abroad, so I'm curious about the city, curious about the country, and I also want to, just working around and see a lot of things. Talking about my school life, which I cannot really focus on it. So I really, especially in my first year, I feel kind of welcome. But after like the 3 years, I think I've already get used with that. Now it's getting much better. Yeah.
Okay. Was language also a barrier for you, because we spoke about it, about how fast we're going to be speaking English, and I know that there are quite some international students here. Actually, I think the majority are international students. So how do you experience that as a foreigner, having to speak English because the majority of classes are in English, or if not all?
I think the things I did just before I came to the Netherlands and I found a job, which is like English assistant. So I practiced my English already in China. And then when I came here and also as a textile student, we have like a small group. We have 5 students in our class. We all have a good relationship. Just keep talking with them. Yeah, keep practicing every day.
Okay, so English is very important. Yeah. How is it for you, Kim, as a Dutchie, to experience that, being at this school, also quite international, it's not the normal Dutch academy in the way of speaking. How is that for you?
I think it's really nice to get to know all these different cultures and also the way we communicate, because when you speak originally in another language, you need to learn how to communicate in a way. So I think it's really, you learn a lot about having contact with different people and working together.
Yeah. So one of the things that I've experienced as well is that there are quite some costs aside from the study fees. We spoke about this the other day, and how do you feel about that? So what do you think are the things that you really have to be prepared for, and where do you think all of that extra costs come from? And how is the way to deal with it?
I mean, the extra cost of the study, I think money-wise, you have to just have your own budget, I think. Everything doesn't need to be high-quality, expensive items. You can also, just work on your budget and be, of course, creative on your finances.
That's part of it. Okay. How is the KBK community so far treating you? I mean, I think the fashion department is quite a tight-knit family, especially quite small compared to the other departments. How do you experience that?
I don't know. It's a bit like, I don't know. Is it a tight community? I'm not sure. I think we are very connected to other departments, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't feel that we are very close in the department.
Okay.
Maybe because of Corona, but I think before I was thinking about pre-COVID times. I think you can just
2 years ago.
Yeah, I think you can just really roam around and
that's true.
really be connected with other departments as well. And I think there are also people who are working together and sharing ideas.
Yes. Yeah, I think especially photography departments, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times photography students just walk in and ask us if they can take pictures of the work. Very flattering, but also very important because you can build up your network like that. Sorry?
One thing I do really appreciate is the fact that the classes are relatively small. Especially I did another study before this, and we had a lecture hall with 500 people. And of course you make your friends within that group, but you never get to know everyone. And our class this year is 16 people. I think the second year are a bit more. But you really get to form this close group with all your students, and then also the second and third years, because it is one big room we work in, and we usually divide it between the years.
Yeah.
So you do have this interaction with people from other years and their experiences and stuff like that, also in the workshops. So I do really appreciate that. I think that's one of the big things that I like right now studying.
And how do you feel like this interaction with not only your class, but also like you said, you can just walk through from the first year till the fourth years. How do you feel that it affects your work? Because there's a vibe, of course, which you feel, but there's also like the information you're getting through.
Yeah, you're always welcome to ask questions to anyone that you maybe are interested in talking to, or there's a lot of this back and forth sometimes. And
yeah,
I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, I feel that too.
And I want to also add that it's not only on fashion again, but I think also for example, last night I was working with my project on fashion, and there was this a student from, I think, graphic arts, and then he asked me about something, and I ended up helping him as well with his project. And also, I think last month, I guess, I was also in the workshop working, and then there was also this other student from, I think, master's research something. I was also she asked me, and I also help her with her project as well.
Yeah.
I think that's the good thing about working here that you're not really just like in your own space.
Is everyone that's studying here, is everyone living also in The Hague? Everyone living in The Hague? Where do you live?
No, I live in Amsterdam.
Amsterdam, how is it for you to travel? Because it's quite busy in the morning, right?
Yeah, but it's been okay. I've been used to also biking to school and having no more than 5 minutes usually from where I need to be. And now I have to take the train and door to door. I think it's about 15 minutes. So it's quite a difference. But it's definitely doable. You're really just dependent on if the train works. That's the only thing.
Do you think it affects your work? Let's say if you want to stay an extra day and work extra long, let's say we're going into the fittings and we're having important fittings. Do you think that, hey, it takes away from you if you're not living in a city?
No, in terms of the school, no. I mean, it's really, the school is really
very central.
400 meters from the main station.
Yeah.
So that's really not a problem. You just walk there and do your thing. For Amsterdam as well, there's trains every 15 minutes. So in that sense, no, there's nothing really a problem. I think it's definitely doable if you do that. Some other students have been living in other cities as well. Utrecht, Rotterdam, and it's definitely doable.
Yeah, I used to live in Eindhoven first. That was almost 4 hours of traveling every day. Yeah. And how do you guys? Does anyone here have a job on the side? Yeah, how do you have everything? You live you have an extra job?
Yeah,
How do you juggle that actually?
It was easier before the current measures with Corona. I think I was just talking to you about it.
Why?
Because I work at a bar, which is the ideal side job. I could always work at night and combine it really well. We're closed now, we're doing takeaway, we're working throughout the day, so I can only work in the weekends because we're usually here every day of the week. So with that, and I have less hours, so it's a bit difficult to combine it. But I think it's nice to have a job also because we're talking about the extra costs.
Yeah.
There's sometimes costs for fabrics and your own supplies, and it's nice to have.
Do you feel you need a job or do you feel that you need a job or that you need to have a minimum certain amount of budget to be able to study here and not to worry about it?
Yeah, I'm not as organized as you. I don't have as much in my head, but I do feel that I sometimes need to work a bit on the side just so I can be comfortable in how I live.
Okay. Is there any tip that you would like to give to the students before we close up this session?
Yeah, one thing I just want to mention, I think for now, the problem that I'm facing because I'm trying to looking for a new apartment, and I think especially in The Hague, the housing issue is like the problem. If you want to come to the Netherlands, if you want to live in The Hague, just be prepared.
Be prepared, yes. Yeah, I would just like to add to that, I think housing is very important because while studying here, it's a very demanding course. It takes a lot of energy, also gives you a lot of energy, but for you to get that energy back, you need to delve into the study, with a peace of mind. So your money has to be correct, either it's through working or it's through a budget or parents. You need to have a proper housing and you need to be able to, get to school on time or to your house on time. So I think, peace of mind is very important for when coming to study here. I think that was the last question. We're going back to videos of the work of the students. Thank you. thank you all for joining us. It's a pity that we can't see you and that you can't be here, but thank you for joining us anyways. And we hope that we gave you a good impression and vibe, of course, of our department and the students that are here. Also, a big thank you to my fellow students over here, also some over there, and Mark, of course, and everyone behind the cameras that was able to make this possible. If you're interested in studying here at the KBK in general, please take a look at the KBK website. All the information regarding fee, etc., or anything that you will need is online. If you're interested to see more work of our department, please take a look on the website, show4expose.nl. It's also in Q&A. Thank you again for joining us, and enjoy.